What's up, Vikings fans? This is Matthew Deary, Minnesota Vikings Breakdown, and this is my analysis of the Vikings' Week 4 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. As you know, the Vikings fall to 0-4, losing to the Chiefs this past Sunday, 22-17. There are some positives to take out of this game, though. I said in weeks past the Vikings really needed to work on involving Percy Harvin more in the offense. We saw that this week. He got 4 rushes for 60-plus yards. He also got involved in the passing game. So good to see the Vikings utilizing Percy a little bit more. Just would be nice to see him get pay dirt. He really needs to start scoring some touchdowns. We need something more out of him. Hey, another plus. The Vikings only had 2 3-and-outs this game. Also good to see Visanthe Shanko getting involved too. He had 6 catches. He really was a nice little safety valve for Donovan McNabb as the game went on. Another plus is Donovan McNabb. He looked better. I have more to say on him later because I still don't think that he should be our quarterback. But his touchdown passes were pinpoint accuracy, so well done on those, Donovan. It's just annoying listening to Leslie Frazier talk about Donovan McNabb like he's his buddy. I get that you guys are friends, but he's not leading your football team. You also need to call out your offense a little bit and say 17 points, guys. That's not going to cut it. So here are the negatives from the game. We only put up 17 points, but we won the possession battle. So the offense finally held the ball longer than the opposing team, but we still don't come away with points with that. And we only scored 17 points, and we had the ball for 5 more minutes than the Chiefs did. Once again, we shy away from AP. We need this man to carry our offense, and we shy away from him. He only had 80 rushing yards, and once again, in the second half, just like last week, we underutilize our best player, the best running back in the league. Sure, it's a passing league, but AP is an anomaly, and we need to utilize our best player. Once again, it seems like everybody's blaming the loss on the defense. Sure, they blew one huge, gigantic play to Dwayne Bowe, but other than that, they held the Chiefs to 5 field goals. They let the Chiefs drive down the field, but they didn't allow them to score touchdowns. Remember, the Vikings play the cover 2. The cover 2 is the bend but don't break defense. We don't allow them to score touchdowns. That's what the Vikings defense did this week, except letting the Chiefs score that one big touchdown. We held the Chiefs to only 350 total offensive yards. That's not bad for a middle-of-the-road defense. We held them to only 15 first downs. That's not bad for our non-star-studded defense. We have Kevin Williams and Jared Allen. Other than that, you just have a mix of young players and aging players. You guys have such high expectations for the Vikings defense, when really they're performing as well as they possibly can. That Dwayne Bowe touchdown was a huge atrocity. Cedric Griffin makes a mistake and he falls down, allowing Dwayne Bowe to catch that ball. The last line of defense is supposed to be our safety, Jamarcus Sanford. Now, I don't know about you guys, but not a whole lot of people get tackled when you try and hit them like that. Jamarcus Sanford sucks. The Vikings' glaring flaw on defense is easily the safeties. Tyrell Johnson and Jamarcus Sanford are 2 bad safeties. Jamarcus Sanford, not a sure tackler, as shown on that touchdown. Tyrell Johnson made plenty of mistakes in the game, one of them being a Steve Breaston huge gain where Tyrell Johnson completely took the wrong angle. Now, if you don't know what angles are, it just means that he took the wrong path to the player, which allowed Steve Breaston to gain a ton of yards. For those of you who think Donovan McNabb turned it around this game, I'm not going to say he didn't. I'm just going to say he looked better. He looked better than in weeks past. He still is not the kind of quarterback that when we got him, we expected him to be. I would say in the last game, he played good about 75% of the time. Those 2 touchdown passes being an example. But 75% of the time still isn't good enough to help our mediocre team to win. Like I said, our defense is only a little better than average, and our offense really needs somebody to distribute the football, because apparently we shy away from AP in the second half of games. Now, if you guys know anything about offense, you know when you have a man like Adrian Peterson, the defense is going to stack the box and say, you're not going to beat us with the run. It's almost any quarterback's dream to have the box stacked with some of the defensive backs, like the safeties, which means there's single coverage. And the fact that Donovan McNabb still isn't tearing it up, it just goes to show you how average of a quarterback he is. There's guys open on the field, and Donovan McNabb is just not finding them. Sure, he looked better this week, but we're still 0-4, and he still was inaccurate in so many of his throws. You guys remember that interception he threw? He threw a 100-mile-an-hour bullet above Toby Gerhardt's head. Donovan McNabb was 18 for 30. That's 12 incomplete passes. And I would say more than half of those were due to the fact that he threw bad balls. Balls that are difficult for a wide receiver to catch or ones that just skipped off the ground. Obviously, the NFL has become a pass-heavy league, which puts even more importance on the quarterback, which shows even more how inadequate Donovan McNabb has been this year. Here's how Donovan stacks up amongst NFL quarterbacks. In yards per game, he's 30th. In attempts, he's 28th. In completions, he's 29th. In his completion percentage, he's 22nd. In touchdowns, he's also 22nd. In first downs thrown, he's 28th. In first down percentage, he's 22nd. Those are the kind of stats that go to show you that Donovan McNabb isn't even a middle-of-the-road quarterback with the Vikings this year. He's actually towards the bottom. He's towards the bottom of the NFL, which is something that we could just as easily get with Christian Ponder. Now, I'm not saying that I think Christian Ponder is going to come and lead this team to 4 straight wins and we're going to be 4-4. I'm just saying we're 0-4. Donovan McNabb obviously is not the future of this football team, and we know what we have with him. 4 losses. If we believe Christian Ponder is the future, why don't we start building for that right now? We brought in Donovan McNabb because we thought he could make us a competitive football team. Kind of like Brett Favre of 2009. We're a win-now football team, so let's bring a veteran in and see if we can win now. Obviously we can't, and part of it is because of Donovan McNabb. So since we don't stand a chance because the Packers and Lions are both 4-0, we're obviously not going anywhere this year. So let's just move on and start with Christian Ponder. It's not going to happen because Leslie Frazier even said after the 0-4 start that Donovan McNabb will be our quarterback against the Arizona Cardinals this week. Now, facing off against the Arizona Cardinals, I don't feel too good about this game because in the past 2 weeks, the Vikings have been burned by big-time wide receivers, Dwayne Bowe, Calvin Johnson. Who's that wide receiver who plays for the Arizona Cardinals? Larry Fitzgerald. He has one of the league's more accurate passers in Kevin Cobb throwing to him. The Vikings are going to have a heck of a time trying to slow down another big-time wide receiver in Week 5. I don't see much light on the horizon as the Vikings have to face off against the Arizona Cardinals, who barely lost the game to the much more talented New York Giants last week. That's all I have for now. You can follow me on Twitter during the Vikings game. I do live tweets. Hopefully we'll start with a win next week, guys.